Thanks. Can you hear me? Yeah. All right. Great. Thanks, everybody. Happy to be here. Anybody new? Someone who hasn't been here before? Everyone gets the gist of the message. That you can't get the gist of the message. That which is trying to understand is not understandable. Yeah. It's what a relief. Yeah. There's so much pressure on us having to arrive somewhere better than where we seem to be. Now you have nowhere to go based on having never left. What a relief. I go to the Zoom and it's Miss Amelia's cookie house. I don't know what the hell is going on. It's supposed to be a non-duality meeting. Well, I'm happy to see everybody. If you want, bring up anything you'd like and we can, riff on it. You understand that the message is mostly about what we're not, yeah? Hopefully, the message is held by what you are, and the topic is about what you're not, yeah? Not the other way around. You don't want the topic to be what you are for what you're not. No, the topic is what you're not for what we are. So it's in there. You can't miss it. Yeah. It's right there. Right in front of, not even in front of you. Yeah. There's just all these assumptions and understandings and drives and movements and stuff going on that we have a vague sense that's manufactured that there's someone like behind the curtain, there's someone that must be doing it or is the source or the cause of it all, but there isn't. There's just selfing. Yeah, there's just thinking, feeling, tasting, touching, smelling, doing, pondering, contemplating, meditating, swimming, surfing. There's just a lot of activity, never ending. Yeah. And so that's, if you try to translate a verb for a noun to understand, you're new to the verb. Yeah. So you want to just sort of talk to the verb about the noun instead of the noun about the verb. Yeah. The verb gets it. Yeah. The seeing gets that there is no seer. The seer has a hard time getting that. Yeah. But the seeing is very clear. There is no seer. The awareness is very clear that there's no one aware of it. Or it would be aware of that, yes? And it's not aware of anyone else being aware of it. There's nothing gets picked up on the radar or the sonar or the radio frequencies. There's no one listening to what's listening. It is just as it is right now. Yeah. We just don't think so. Yeah. That's the dilemma. And for some reason or another, we're tilted. We're weighted to one side. Yeah. We're more of the in than of the of. Yeah. Though the of is truly what we are from, we want to get into the of from the in. Yeah. We want to get into the of as the in. And it just doesn't work, obviously. You may get, you may get better. I remember one time my friend and I were just having nothing to do, and somehow we heard some guy at this 3-day heavy metal festival in Oakland had opium. So we wanted to get it. So we met him on one of the pedestrian bridges. You could hear fucking whatever, Megadeth playing in the background. And we bought this stuff. It looked black and tarry. We drove back to our apartment and we cooked it up and we shot it. We injected it into our system. Now, and we both looked at each other and said, "Hey, are you feeling something?" I said, "Yeah, I think I'm feeling something." And I would go, "Yeah, I think it's coming on, isn't it?" "Yeah." And then one of our girlfriends walked in and says, "Man, it smells like incense in here." Yeah. So we went, "Wait a minute. Did that guy sell us incense?" So not believing it, or with great hope, not willing to believe it, even though we had the hit, it's incense. I mean, it was, it hit. There was no thought, it's incense. We smelled it. She smelled it. We shot it up again just to make sure there wasn't any opium in there. This is like the head. It just won't get it. You tell it, you failed. The horse is dead. You're not managerial quality. Or as we say in AA, it doesn't say it has to be an alcoholic or a drug addict or whatever, a foot fetisher or whatever. Any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. It's a pretty comprehensive statement. It was an understanding that downloaded through some people, and they put it out there in this big book. Yeah. Any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. Okay, we have tons of evidence. We smell the incense, but we keep shooting it up. Now, we're not doing that, thank God. But we're in the act of identification as that which is doing it, yes? For some reason, the audience has a preference to one character in the movie, yeah? The audience of Mary looks at Mary G. The audience of Paul watches Paul H. Yeah. And while they're looking through Mary G and Paul H, it's like the brownie camera and the big camera. Seemingly, it appears not to the small camera. The small camera is out to lunch, basically. It doesn't have a very high ceiling of understanding. But the big camera seemingly forgets that it's the big camera while looking through the small camera. So now suddenly the experience of looking through the small camera is used to verify that it is the experiencer as the small camera. Yeah. The experience through the small camera that the big camera is having now gets consolidated into the small camera. So the experience of the small camera is called the experiencer. So now there's an experiencer of the brownie camera having experiences, but we believe we are this separate, long-lasting, independent thing having experiences. Yeah? What's one to do? And every message, you may assume by looking at it that, hey, I know who he is. He's the big camera. So you try to talk to the big camera, but the brownie's got the vacuum on reverse. It sucks it right in. And then it hears the message about the big camera from the small camera. Stubborn habit, yeah? And it keeps forgetting itself and thinks it should start looking for it, yeah? It seemingly forgets it's the big camera, and then it wants to start looking for it. But the looking for the big camera is only reinforcing the small camera, yeah? What's one to do? You can't make sense to the small camera. It's so sure that it's a small camera, its whole reality is to look to become the bigger camera at some later date through some fucking practices or something, yes? I believe I can become that, but I am the brownie, yes? That's the stubborn idea. So we're bypassing that. We're not going to talk to what you're not about fucking anything, really, yeah? We want to talk to what you are. It's right here now. It's the hearing. Yeah. It's there right before the hearer gets presupposed. Yeah. The hearing. So you hear the message, but you never hear it as the hearer. You heard the message, and the message is you're not the hearer. That's the beautiful message. Yeah. It's not saying you got to up your hearing game. You got to hear better. You got to get into some extreme hearing. No, it has nothing to do with hearing or doing or thinking or feeling. It's just negating the thinker, the feeler, the doer. And the point is, there's nothing there to negate. So basically, the time it would take to negate nothing is no time whatsoever. Yeah? So you finally see what you're not, which is a mental activity. Yeah, stubborn, habitual, has everything else aligned with it. Yeah, thinks it is a separate, long-lasting, independent entity that's having an experience. Doesn't realize part of the experience is the experiencer, the brownie. It's part of the whole thing. Yeah. That's why it's weird. We want to change all our experiences, but we don't change the one basic experience, which is the experiencer. Yeah? That's where we're bound. So you see, not only the experience you think you have in the day, you see the experience of the thinking you have the other experiences. You see it, yeah? It's an experience. It's something that happens, but doesn't make anything concretely happen, yeah? It's happening all day, but nothing ever happens. You never become the experiencer, yeah? Because the experiencer is an experience. That's what it is. Something else is having the experience of Mary. It's not Mary. That's for sure. Something else is having the experience of Mary. Mary thinks it's having all these experiences. But from another point of view, Mary's the biggest part of all the experiences. It's the one almost constant experience of all the experiences Mary's going to seem to have. Yeah? That it was Mary having them. That's the addiction. Not to the experience, but to the experiencer. That's the mental addiction. Yeah? We're way past rehab. A weekend retreat ain't gonna do it. That's just changing the experience, not the experiencer. You can't change the experiencer. You see you're not the experiencer. That's all. Yes? You believe there's let's say seeing, and then there's a seer seen. The seer seen is an experience of seeing, yeah? The mental reaction to seeing is the experience of seer seen. That's what it does, yeah? No matter how bad it gets, it thinks that it can change everything if it just had different experiences. So you're having a bad time in Burlingame, California. You go to Bangkok, and about 2 months later, your Bangkok sucks. Everywhere you go sucks because you change the experiences, but not the experiencer. That's the constant experience that we don't even see as an experience. We see it, we see ourselves as a long-lasting, independent, separate thing that has experiences. You don't have shit. Yeah. You're like a porous net. So whatever you think you have is just a momentary ownership. It's like a sieve. It just keeps coming. I'm in peace. Oh, there it goes. I woke up. There it goes. I disappeared for a few weeks. Who was there to report that? It goes on and on and on. This is a whole different, you're not going to get it. Yeah. There's like an aw shucks in it. Yeah. You're not going to get it. I so wish I could ride this fucking wave. But in fact, I am the wave. I can't ride it. So I think if you're whatever, I don't know, if you agree or disagree what we say here. But we're just putting it out, If it lands, it lands. I found I've never done much to further my spiritual development after satsang. I heard satsang and pretty much everything shut down. Yeah, because it hit me very deeply, the futility of using Paul to try to get out of Paul. It just was so super clear. And in all the years of active addiction and everything, it was like the straw had already broken the camel's back, something triggered that condition to become clearer, but it was already so. So, and then I went to talk, I went to satsang, and I didn't hear, I would go to a meeting, and there would be a person up on the die, the stage, and then there was these other people, and it sure looked like a dualistic event to me. The other people seemed to think the one person on the die had something that they didn't have, and that they were willing to put up with a lot of shit in some cases to get, or to hope to get, a little bit of what that dude or dudess had. Yeah. Now, to me, that seemed like duality. Yeah. It seemed like almost an unspoken duality. It was sort of like, we're all here, but we've got to sit silently for 10 minutes for the guy to split before we go. And we're hearing about all the advertisements and announcements, not him or her. And there's seemed to be quite a different situation. Yeah. So, and then I share it a lot, but I was at one of these meetings, and the guy came from a Zen lineage, and he said a funny thing from Zen. It's like, I'm a man standing by the river selling water. Yeah. Okay. You would think that would do it, but no, everyone was still adoringly waiting. And then he started laughing. He said, hey, it's funnier than that. I'm a man standing in the river selling water. Yeah. And yet no one left. I did finally. So I don't know who anyone else did, but I split. But I didn't see anyone else coming out the door. I would feel that was getting the message. Yeah. It was, hey, you're wet as hell. Why are you trying to get some wetness from me? Yeah. You're totally drenched and you're dripping. And in a weird way, this whole situation is reinforcing this idea of being dry, when the intent was to share the watery wealth. Yeah. But in a weird way, the head's using it to reinforce a sense of dryness that's imaginative. Yeah. So my searching for the water was actually reinforcing that I was dry, which is not true. Yeah. I saw that direction, and a lot of things have that direction. Yeah. What we think is going one way is actually reinforcing another way. Yeah. We need eyes to see this, and the eyes are understandings. Yeah, the understandings are not to be depended upon. They're meant to be used to see what you're depending on as misunderstandings, really. Yeah. So by seeing the misunderstandings, the understanding of these talks has worked. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the old thing Ramana said. The guy's walking around and his foot hurts. And then he finally, instead of complaining and bitching about it and keep walking, he finally stops. He takes his sandal off and he sees he's got a thorn in his foot. So he looks around and he finds another thorn, uses the one thorn to pull out the other thorn. He doesn't replace the first thorn with the second thorn. He throws them both out, yeah? So this message is there's a lot of discomfort because you're resting on a bed of misunderstanding. Yeah. It's very agitated. It's very uncomfortable. It demands action when a bed would be expected to allow rest. Yes. So we use an understanding to sort of negate the misunderstandings. We don't. There's a hearing of it. Big M mind does. And then we don't replace the one thorn with the other thorn. The understanding of non-duality doesn't stay in understanding. You sense a vision, yes, sooner or later. There's a intimacy. It's not something that's understood. It's something that's known before understanding, yeah? And then all the search for understanding or compounding or building an understanding, you lose interest in it all. Because what you were truly looking for has been revealed and it can't be looked for. Yeah. That's what you're relieved of. You're relieved of that incessant looking for. Yeah. You're relieved of the need to be liberated. Something in the head needs to be liberated, but it's not you. So you lose interest in it. You do. Yeah? Especially when it uses liberation to reinforce the bondage of itself. Yes? A lot of the time. It does. You don't know it while it's happening, but I'll tell you, if they stopped the situation and they autopsied it like a frog in high school, you would see it. You would see what the head's doing. It's using your agenda. You're thinking you're going one way and it's parking another way. Yeah. So I feel if you don't see this stuff, you're looking from it. I do, because it's not personal. Yeah. This isn't like an individual rainfall just on you. It's mechanical. The brain and what's developed, if you want to call it the relative mind, has these fundamental movements that are mechanical. They're not volitional. They're not choice. Maybe they have a way of, calculating, but it's not like there's a you doing it. Yeah. So you can be fearless and honest about it. You can see it because it's not you. Yeah. I don't know. My sense of it was just great relief, and a relief that stabilized into a condition, really. Yeah. The action figures has its days, but basically, they seem all to be contained in the Etch-a-Sketch box, and then they just get by the next morning, all the lines have been erased, and there it goes again. And yet there's a much bigger event afoot. Yeah, you shake it up. There's a much bigger event afoot that doesn't have a beginning or end, or Mondays and Wednesdays and shit like that. All these little mazes and partitions and these things going. If you lift above it, you see it. You're not going anywhere. They did a test with rats with a maze and cheese. And so they put the cheese down one hall. The rat would go there. After they took the cheese away, it would go maybe twice and then it would forget. He said, there's no fucking cheese. We just keep going down there. The mental state just keeps going down the hall thinking there's cheese when there ain't. All right. Well, anyone say something, please. Whatever. I think Nick will see who's ever wanting to share or something.
Mary G has her hand up. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Mary.
Thank you. Hi, Paul. Hey, I'm so grateful to you and these talks. I wanted to just kind of report what I'm sort of experiencing, or not even experiencing, I don't know how to put it, but it's like you talk about that intimacy, and something's just come to me that it was like that one person called in once. I don't know if you remember, a young woman, and she was talking about how this isn't about spirituality at all. There's nothing spiritual about it. And I remember her sort of being so adamant about it. There's nothing spiritual about it, you know. And I don't know what kind of happened, but I just sort of am seeing the absurdity of the thinking that I'm this long-lasting, independent, separate entity. Like, it's just absurd. And then on the heels of that, there's sometimes this like, it's almost shockingly like, I don't know if the word's intense, but the intimacy of, you know, like the Course says, I did not create myself. You do not create. Whatever is creating is what I'm of. And there's that, yeah, and it's almost like like, I can't stay in it for only a couple of seconds. And then maybe, you know, the action figure just kind of goes, whoa, or whatever. But anyway, there's something, you know, dawning, but it's pretty frightening, I guess, to the system or something, because it's too much. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, and if it's too much, it's too much. There'll be more on offer. Yeah. Yeah. You don't have a one-time only shot at the cliff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's cliffs every day. And it doesn't matter if you jump off or not, honey, really.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. The game is rigged. It's over already.
Mm-hmm.
You are what you're looking for.
Yeah. I think that's just what starts to land more and more, that it's over, like it's just over. But that doesn't mean, like I've talked about having the addicted daughter, and it's just sort of, I was talking to Anu about it, and how when she's hospitalized or whatever, there's no, like, I lose my shit completely, you know, and it's action figure time and all that. And just even that, there's something underneath that, but it's so okay I mean, it's fine to just be whatever, you know. Yeah.
Yes. This isn't about doing everything that makes everything fine. It's being fine when you do a lot of shitty, stupid little things. It's not you doing it. You know what I mean? So there's an acceptance of all the foibles of the ride that you are on, you know, or you are actually. Yeah. I never, you know, when I was a kid, I felt acceptance, you know, love for my mom, my grandmother and stuff. And then my grandmother especially. So my grandmother passed away, and then my father passed away, and then I retreated. Seemingly, the view got very myopic, and I was really listening to the head. I mean, the volume went way up, and everything else was closed. Yeah, and it was only after hearing the message of non-duality where I realized the urban renewal project was called off. Yeah. Yeah. This incessant addiction to bettering or changing Paul and how it feels. And after a while, I was sensing something. It didn't matter if I put a finger on it or not, but I came to a conclusion that this is, you know, I was in acceptance of this whole action figure. Yeah, there was acceptance. And man, it was a great day for the Toyota, basically. Trying to be a Bentley just wasn't working, you know. The Rolls Royce, I mean, and then getting, yeah, it was just a great relief. And it's been I've been breathing that atmosphere for quite a while now. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't feel, we breathe supposedly the atmosphere, but there's breathing of a lot of atmospheres. Yeah. And most of them don't have acceptance as their basis. They're mostly, uh, it's time to move on, get on with it, da da da, on and on. It's like getting whipped all day. Yeah, you can live peacefully from that. Yeah, yeah. And a life actually takes a lot. Life takes care of itself a lot. It doesn't really need our utmost participation mentally. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm happy to see you, Mary. Just dropping a little of that seriousness and shit. Yes.
Well, I have
You
to
are.
say that one of the things that you said very early on was probably, and still is, very helpful, was because I used to always try to feel connected, like that, that obsession with feeling connected, and to just it's not you who feels connected or not connected. It's nobody feeling, and that in itself was massive. That was a massive relief, and it's just been more relief.
Yes.
It's just more relief and more relief. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, see, it's funny. First, there's like when Ramana talks about the free will, which is a sense conditioned on the sense of individuality. So here, the mental state, its main storyline is that it's a separate, long-lasting, independent entity, yet yearns for connection.
Exactly.
It's so
Exactly.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's got it's complete cognitive dissonance at the same moment. Yeah. It wants it has a stubborn belief that it's separate, but wants to feel connected.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then who tells you you're connected or unconnected? A fucking insane thing in one's head.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. It's, the last thing you should listen to is that. I'm feeling connected. I'm feeling not connected.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are looking for connection because they're looking from separation.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's what that gives birth to that urge or drive to feel connected. Is a prior misbelieving that you're separate.
Mm-hmm.
See
Well, you
that
don't
you're
hear this
not a
anywhere.
separate.
You just
What?
don't hear this anywhere. You don't hear this from anyone anywhere. I don't hear it anywhere. I have clients who are, spiritual seekers, and I mean, they're just, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Nobody's telling them
Yes,
this
yes.
stuff.
So here's the first idea that gives birth to another drive. Separation is definitely the truthful situation, and in that condition, I need to feel connected.
And
It's
you're
so
screwed.
insane.
You're screwed
Well, yeah,
forever.
whatever, but it's insane. Uh, a lot of people's behavior, the story is they have a story about what they're moving towards, but usually very unclear what they're moving away from. It's always a dualistic movement. Yeah. So if you felt a lot of maybe your spiritual seeking was based on a belief that you were dissatisfied and uncontent. If you're now satisfied and content, you don't give a shit about spiritual seeking, even though you've made it so important at one point. You don't care at all now because you have satisfaction or content, or that's the basis. Yeah. So your story of being a heroic, fucking Hanuman, and you could care less about swinging around those spiritual trees. He just like, I'm chilled out. Yeah, fine. I'm available and present to be useful. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. uh, yeah. It's funny, you see it in society too. A lot of people want to see themselves as very, very unique, but they want to be accepted into the vast society. So it's a weird thing. So, yeah, it's just a mental move. Yeah. And if you don't see the mental moves, you're looking from them. Yeah, that's the situation. The trance and the beat of the trance is set by a mental tune. Yes. So we're not of that mental tune. That's something that has procedures and processes and is based in time, and it needs conditions to do what it does. We are of the indescribable, unknowable, ununderstandable. Yeah. And we're never going to see what's seeing. Yeah. Yeah. We're not going to hear what's hearing. You're it, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, immediately the head responds with, well, look at this package. How could this be it? Well, you're not the package. Yeah. You're the seeing. You're not the seer. You're the hearing. You're not the hearer. You're the feeling. You're not the feeler. Yeah. And I don't believe there's a feeler of that which is feeling. I don't. Yeah. I just don't see it. Yeah. So there you go. You're at the end of the road, and you're the last house on the block that you were looking for, and yet there you are. Yeah. So anyone else, Nick?
Yes, we just got another hand from Satish. Go ahead and
Satish.
mute yourself.
Hello, Paul.
Hey, Satish, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thanks for coming. I haven't seen you in a little while.
Oh, I come. I just stay in the background.
All right. What's going on?
I'm just curious, how can the perfection of what we are, perfection, beauty, or of what we are, be appreciated if it can be? Or I mean, that would.
Well, the action figure can appreciate it. It's sort of like the Toyota has a sentience. It has a certain level of consciousness, and it can be conscious of what's driving it. Yeah. And there's gratitude and appreciation. Yeah. I felt in this, as an action figure, I felt something had me by the cojones, the gonads, let's say, and that was active addiction. And it became very clear that it was not of me, but it was sure the hell driving me. And then when I got struck sober and I entered and introduced to a way of life that would keep me sober, it felt very, very just perfectly clear that something was doing through me what I couldn't do for myself. Yes? As the Toyota, like drive. The Toyota is not a self-driving car. It needs a driver. So, and I've seemed to have two big experiences of, well, two different drivers basically in this life. Yeah. One, actually, one appeared twice. When I was young, I had one driver, seemingly. Then I had another driver which was fucking hellacious on the tires and the chassis and shit. And then that collapsed, and then it seemed like another driver kicked in. Now I call it a driver, but it was just the driving. I don't know what. And in the groups I was with, we would call it the higher power. Yeah. So in AA, we call that spirit that's driving us the higher power. Yeah. And we infer to the one that which was, and it isn't a one, but that energy that was driving us before was a lower power, so to speak. Yeah. And, or we have a new employer and it was the old employer. Yeah. And, yeah. So it's, that kind of imagery has worked for the action figure. The action figure it's almost like a kid. It needs illustrations. Yeah. So it's like, there's got to be a Tommy going to the store to buy the milk for it to sort of get shit. So yeah, that's how it goes. So one of the expressions that happens with me is gratitude. I feel a lot of gratitude a lot of the time. Yeah. And not even so much about what's going on, just about. Yeah. I feel like it's been infused in the attitude that sort of is more like the rudder or the sail that's greeted with the wind that moves it. So I have an attitude of gratitude, or like the action figure really honors this message, even though we joke around a lot. Yeah, I really honor, really honor this message. I don't understand it, don't know anything about it, but I sure feel with the car imagery, it would be maybe he was running me on very low octane gas. Now I got premium, and it's just the Toyota feels a lot more energized with what's running through it. Yeah.
So did it happen by itself, or you say
Yeah,
attitude of gratitude?
Yeah, I think everything happens not by itself. It just happens.
Happens,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see a thing behind anything.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't. I don't believe there's a being. I believe there's being, let's call it that. Yeah. And a never on or off condition. Let's say I aming. Yeah. I don't believe there's something doing that.
Mhm.
Yeah. That could have a different condition. And then it takes on a condition of being everything. I don't see it. I just see everything's movement. Yeah. Even stillness is a movement in a way. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I hear that being or stillness is perfection, lacks nothing, and
Yeah,
that's
I don't see when I have a feeling when I say the word. I don't look for a feeling in the word.
yeah.
Yeah. So when I'm saying something about the higher power, I have a feeling. I'm not finding that feeling in the word.
Mm.
I'm using that word to express a feeling.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I feel some energy, and then well, whatever, and then okay, call it a higher power, whatever. But the feeling, the juice is there. If not, it would be tinny. I don't. Yeah, the words don't mean much to me. Yeah, like perfection. I have no idea what that fucking is, really. But I have a feeling of perfection. That's really super sloppy. Yeah. It's great. So I'm not looking for something from the words. I'm just trying to find something I can fill up with a feeling or a sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I have certain ones I really like. I like mind, big M mind, more than a lot of ways of saying it. I don't like, yeah. It's almost you're looking for like a plain brown paper bag, because a lot of words have a lot of fucking in them. And, that's why we like the term dog shit awareness, yeah. Things like that. Awareness has such a lofty idea sometimes. Fuck. Who the hell knows what that thing is, or what no thing is, yes? You just feel on, don't you? Yeah. In other words, you may believe there's a light switch, but you've never found it. It's just on. It's just on, yeah. I really feel like we have a very low pay scale and really not much need to know most of the time. Yeah. Yeah. I'm free from the need to figure it out.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, Satish. Thank you. The head is dualistic, yeah. So things happen, the head goes to its logic, which, well, there's obviously something doing it, yeah. But that's the duality that non-duality is negating, yeah. Yeah, that every action must have a predetermined actor or something that set it off. That's the delusionary condition that's negated by the message of satsang, non-duality. Yeah. Yeah. So, and the head is stubbornly stuck there, but you're not, and I'm not. Yeah. If you see you're not the head, if you're thinking the head is a part of you, but it's playing a huge role, then there seems to be a need to convince the head to get to a point of understanding, to let the dam of grace break open. Yeah, but that's not true. It's not necessary. Yeah. That's like what supposedly Lord Buddha said. You know, events happen, deeds are done, yet there is no individual doer thereof. Yeah. So most people believe if there's an event, somebody set it up, because in the relative world, it sure looks like that. There wouldn't be an event like this unless certain people set it up. Yeah. But in actuality, events happen and there's no individual doer thereof. That's what Lord Buddha put it out there. So of course he was seeing there was an event, and let's say, you know, Jacob helped set it up. He saw it all as the movements of a monopoly board. But the fact of it all is all this stuff going on, all the events, all the deeds, which obviously means actions that are being done, there is no individual doer thereof. There's a doing, but there's not a doer. That's basically one of the main premises of non-duality. Yes? Like it or not. If you don't like it, you know, fucking nothing doesn't have a suggestion box. You can't suggest to talk about. So basically, yeah. Yeah. That's one of the turning principles, really, which is, hey, it's not denying events happening or deeds are not, deeds are being done. It's just negating, yeah, negating that there's a doer. That's all. Yeah. See, if you try to say there's no deeds and no events happening, that would be denial, because they are happening. There's an experience of them, yeah? So you would be in an act of denying that there's no deeds and no events. But negation is negation isn't negating reality, it's negating an assumed reality that's actually not there. So negation is different than denial completely. Yeah. So we're negating this imaginary sense that most of us live our life from, that if there's an event, someone did it. I set it up. The deeds, someone's doing those deeds. Yes? Our whole court system is based on that. Everything is based on that. Yes? We're not arguing with that. We're just saying there's no individual doer thereof. I'm probably not going to say that in front of a judge, but, basically, yes. That's the point of it all. It's not for Satish or for Paul to get it. The beautiful thing is to watch the head of Satish and the head of Paul try to get it. And it can't. Yeah. That's the beauty of it. That's the point of it. Yeah. The point of it is Satish cannot get it. Hallelujah. Yeah. That's Christmas. Yeah. When someone says, when I'm looking, I don't see anyone. Well, you probably did, and just stated you didn't see anyone. So there was a seeing of a one, and then there's a statement, I didn't see anyone. Well, why would you say you didn't see anyone if you weren't seeing anyone? You know what I mean? It's just always reinforcing itself. I don't see any people. Okay. Why would that be? Whatever. It just blows my mind. It does. Yeah. It does. People may be super high. I don't know. They may be somewhere. I don't know where, but I would never have to reiterate something I wasn't seeing. I don't think, I don't say, when I'm in Monday, I don't go, I'm not seeing Wednesday or whatever, It just seems like, I don't know, it seems weird to me. It's like the thing Ramesh was attempting to get through to me that day, a long time ago, which is about, Paul, do you have a place to live when you're in America or in India at the time? Yes. I says, all right. So, and do you have a job? Do you go to work? I go, yeah, I go to work as infrequently as possible. But yeah, I go to work. And he says, all right, do you have to keep remembering you have a house while you're at work? I say, no, I know there's a knowledge there. It's not something that's up for debate. I have a house, So, and do you forget that you have a house if you work overtime? I mean, if you spend more time at work, does something get created that doesn't happen if you're only there 5 hours? No. I can be there 24 hours. I still have a knowledge that I have a home. Yes. It's not moved or coming up for debate, shit like that. Yeah. That's like the message. You are what you're looking for. So while you're here and there and this and that, it's not changing the fact that you are that. Yeah. Now, that can be mentally understood, but if it's felt and felt through the action figure will be traveling lighter. Yeah. That will be an expression from there. It will travel lighter on that knowledge. Yeah. Yeah. If you want to say is what's causing the traveling lighter, yes, maybe you say knowledge. Yeah. Not self-knowledge, but knowledge of self. And the knowledge of self is you're not that. And therefore, what you are, you can't know, but you are that. So there's a knowing of it while you're doing everything else. Yes. Yes. And that knowing doesn't get disputed by all the other shit. It's before all the other mental knowing. It's a knowing that you are in good hands, let's say. Yes. Yeah. So I don't know how you could teach that or trigger that. I think satsang can do it and does it. Yeah. But I did find out on an experiential level that this action figure could be convinced. Yeah. And when I got struck sober, I was convinced I was screwed and that I was not managerial quality. And it really pretty much solidified. That became a new knowledge or a new platform. Yeah. And at least for that topic, it was mute. I've never had a strong thought or a feeling about getting loaded for 34 years. That's fucking unbelievable. Really, it really is. If you had seen me or knew me when I was being driven by these 100 forms of fucking shit, you would be unbelievably, miraculously, knocked over that I was still alive and kicking. So, yeah. I feel that satsang and this message has that ability. While you're moving around and really maybe you're not even aware that there's construction going on in your little place called Nick or Paul, and you're getting like a hardwood floor put in, FLOOR. You're getting some sound fucking knowledge, yeah, that allows the ability to see blue is blue and red is red and clear, yeah. So there you go. Now, check this out. I'm looking at you. The cat's looking at me. I was looking at here, and then I look, and the cat's looking this way. This cat in this life only has two sources of attention and affection, myself and Amelia. It's scared around every other person. Yeah. People come and visit. They've never seen it for 4 years. Not totally flipped out, but she's cunning. She hides. Yeah. So that's a responsibility for the action figure, being aware that she doesn't have many accesses to or unwilling to for attention. I better give her some. I mean, do you need to read a book to get there? It's obvious, isn't it? It's obvious why we would have talks, don't you think? If someone traveled lighter and it wasn't based or captured it was just uniquely for me, but it was more of a collective possibility, then you'd be at a Zoom sharing. Yeah. Because I may not touch you personally, but the message can touch you. Yeah. And I have such faith in it that here we go. Yeah. And I'll become, I may be very, very flaky, but I'm persistent with this. I mean, people know me for years and we haven't changed the tune. I change the channel every 2 minutes, but this never changed. The tune never gets changed. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anyone else tonight?
No more hands. I just thought of the other day when you brought out that rag and you thought it was green, and we said it was yellow. It made me think of that your story with the pants, the gold molding.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You
Yes.
haven't shared that one in a while. Can we do that one?
All right. Yeah, I'll share the pants. Yeah, that was, yeah. So when I was younger, when I was about 12, 11, puberty, I guess, yeah, I started to be overly concerned, like everything else, with my appearance. So, and I lived in Long Island, in New York, which is, it's a very strange place, but I lived there. And there was a place called Roosevelt Field, which was like a mall. Yeah. And I used to take a bus there on the weekend, and I have an outfit to go there with. And the outfit was a pair of red corduroy sort of pants and a gray long sleeve shirt. And my hair was getting a little longer, and I was looking at my self reflection in all the store windows, and a lot of people were checking me out. So I figured I'm pretty much wear this outfit every week. I went there, so I was strutting my stuff, thinking, yeah, this is working. A lot of people are checking me out, and I just loved them. And then one of my friends, had some compassion with me, and he said, after a few months, and he said, "Hey, Paul, you know those red pants and those gray shirt you're always wearing when we go to Roosevelt Field?" I go, "Yeah." He says, "You know, those pants are magenta and that shirt is pink." Now, here I had been believing the pants were red and the shirt were gray, but as soon as he told me, I saw them as magenta and pink, never to be seen again as gray and red. And I did not go back into the closet expecting them to be gray and red. I got the message. They were pink and magenta. Sort of like the message. Yes, you can believe in something and all of a sudden it's disputed and it never comes back up for debate. It's just clear. Yeah, it was never gray. They were never red. They didn't go through a transformation. They were just magenta and pink. Yeah. And that's why the people are checking me out. There you go. Yeah. But when I saw it, I saw it. Yeah. And it was done. I don't think I ever wore those things again. I've had many of those events in my life. One event, I'll tell you one event. Do we have time? At that same mall, this blew my mind completely. I was about 11 or 12 years old. I walked into this department store and I was checking out pants. And I went into the dressing with a pair of pants and I put my pants over them. Yeah? I was going to take the pants. So I put my pants over the newly found pants. And I walked out. And before I hit the exit door, they stopped me. And I got detained. And they brought me upstairs into their little security office, whatever. So I'm sitting there and I'm listening to the guy talk about the report. And so I got there at 3 o'clock. I entered at 3:01 and surveillance started at 3:01. They were watching me thinking I was going to steal something before I even had the idea of stealing something. That blew my mind. I swear I sat there as a little kid listening to the officer do it. I'm going, wait a minute. They were watching me as soon as I walked in? So, yes. And then I realized when I drink, I had magnetic appeal to people in uniform. I attracted a lot of officers in my in my life. Well, any other questions?
No more hands. Thank you for the two golden oldies. I don't think I've heard those since
Yeah.
before Zoom. No more hands, and you put your hour in, so it's up to you.
All right. All right,
More
great.
hands.
Let's say goodbye to everybody. We got Greg. Oh, Greg, I think I just met Gregory on the phone yesterday. Yes, Gregory? Nice to see you. We had a very nice conversation. He's in Arkansas, Hot Springs, Arkansas. But he's in actually Hot Springs Village. There you go. And we got Bill and Kathleen from Delaware. Yes, always a pleasure. Thank you, guys. Yeah, thanks for supporting or attending the meeting. Anu, there she is. Always a pleasure to see you, Anu. It's actually I find any excuse to say that word, Anu. I just really like it. Yeah. We got Robert French, my favorite Kiwi. There he is. Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
Now you can see the difference between Australia and New Zealand, because right next to him is David from Australia. Yes. Maybe having some mental challenges in his life and stuff, emotionally crippled, who knows. And there's the Kiwi, Robert. Put together, nice, happy. Mary G. There she is. Nice to see you, Mary. Nick, thank you for jumping in as the host. Stefan, on having never left. Yeah. We got Seattle, the Seattle Slappers. Oh, there they are. Hey, how are my Seattle Slappers doing? Good? Yes, Jacob?
All good.
Oh, yeah? And Alex? Nice?
Good.
Nice to see you. Yeah.
Indigo as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
Indigo.
working on a camper. So if
Yeah,
you guys
Indigo.
ever come down, you can stay in a camper we just bought.
What color did you paint it, Paul?
I'm sort of colorblind, but it's turquoise and yellow.
Cool.
Two-tone. It's a vintage. It's 69. Aristocrat. It's pretty cool. I did the inside. Now we just painted the outside the last 2 days. Yeah. For people who want to visit us, yeah. Sooner or later.
Yeah.
All right. Nice to see you guys. We got Angie. She's in somewhere in Ontario somewhere. Yes. Always a pleasure, Angie. You're a lifetime member of Zen Bitch Slap. Yes. Yes. Yeah. We got James. Oh, the Lebowski showed up. Yeah. I think he's gone under. He's just there. He is. I don't know. He seems to have fallen asleep. All right. We'll go to Johannes in Germany. He's left the room also. We got Sanda. Oh, here. Johannes is back. Nice to see you, my friend. We got Sanda. Sanda from Tiru, where is it?
Tiruvannamalai.
There
Oh,
it
there
is.
it is. Yeah, there it is. It is here.
Yeah.
Just a second. Just.
Wow. There she is.
Yeah.
Wow. There's the mountain. Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the dusty
Fantastic.
morning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always a pleasure to see you, honey. We'll meet someday. Yes, hopefully. Yeah.
Yes, I hope. I hope so. Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Here's another person I'll be meeting probably too, John R. from very, very wet northeast New South Wales. Fuck. How's Byron Bay?
Hey, Paul,
John,
how you going? Pretty wet, got flooded yesterday.
how's the water there?
It's pretty murky. There's blue bottles, immense amount of blue bottles, no swimming.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, look forward to catching up with you sometime.
Yeah, yeah. Get in touch with me if you like.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Yeah. Susanna W. There she is. Clifford from Chiang Mai. Always a pleasure, Clifford. Nice to see you. We've got Miss Amelia. She's taking a break at the crochet factory. Yeah. We got Kenneth. We got Susan K, the lady who buys me lattes. She's got a beautiful picture of a latte. Looks pretty good. Oh, hey, wait a minute. I missed Tej. Tej, I haven't seen him for a while. Nice to see you, my friend. Yes, very good.
You, Paul.
Nice to see you. And we've got oh, it's supposed to say Judith. It says Judith.
That, oh,
You
that,
Y-U-D-I-T.
that's how my name is spelled in Spanish, because
Oh, yours. Oh, wow.
Jew
Great.
descendant is with a Y and it's Judith.
Judith. All right.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm going to have to try that with you.
Oh,
Nice.
no, you don't have to, but it's, yeah.
I'm going by Karit now too.
The emphasis on the Y. Yes. Kerry, how are you doing today?
Karit, I'm doing really good, man. I went swimming twice, and yeah, we miss you in Hawaii, Paul.
Miss you
Yeah,
a
well,
lot.
we'll be back. We'll be coming back sooner or later.
Getting nicer here too. It's getting nicer, yeah.
I loved it there. It was good. We had a nice time there.
Cool.
All right, I'm going to move on to David S. from Oz. There he is, Melbourne. Yeah. Tommy, I think, is Ireland. We got Nick B as the co-host. Always a pleasure. I hit Stefan already. We've got Kenneth, Miss Amelia. Hold on. Let's see who else is here. I can't move this thing. I guess that's it. I can't move the screen. Whatever. So if you haven't seen me, if I can't see you, I wish you a good night, and we'll see you guys soon. Tomorrow is recovery Saturday. We got the Italian. I think we got enough people for Italy, so that's great. But more the merrier. Yeah, it should be a very nice. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. See you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Paul.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Let's go.
Good night.
Night.